working for you. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Roy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for you is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Working for You. I am Roy Williams. Thank you very much for tuning in to today's program. Today we are going to be talking about electricity. Your lights, your current, whatever you call it. And the company in St. Kitts that deals, of course, with energy is the St. Kitts Electricity Company, known as SKELEC. I have with me two officials from the SKELEC to share with you some of what is happening at the company and how, of course, you can become a better customer. I have the Public Relations Officer, Mr. Gawain Freites. Mr. Freites, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Welcome. Good afternoon, all.
And Mr. Nelson Stapleton, who is the Construction and Maintenance Engineer. Mr. Stapleton, welcome.
Thank you for having me, sir. And good afternoon to the listening public. Those in radio land, whether they listen via the internet or by radio. Good afternoon to you.
Of course, we know that electricity, energy, is extremely important. We really cannot survive in this modern age, really, without it. We need to drive almost everything. Our washing machine, we need it to cook with. We need it to to our computers, everything. Basically, our appliances and all of that. And when we don't have it, sometimes it's only then we realize the importance of it. We say, but we don't have any lights, and then you realize, there are so many things that you can't do because you don't have lights. But at the very same time, sometimes we don't show enough appreciation for the energy that is provided. And we are going to hear some of the ways in which we can show the appreciation, of course. And, some of the ways is when you pay your bill. So good. So, Mr. Freites, in terms of, you have ramped up at SKELEC your public relations.
Yes.
Because that is extremely important, your relationship with the public.
Yes. Yeah, because, basically we fully understand that our customers, how should I put it? They're why we exist. We provide one service, and that is to provide electricity. Our customers pay for that service. And if they are paying for the service, they deserve to have a proper service, and that's why we have, especially for this year anyway, we have some new initiatives coming on board. We automated our telephone system. We have what you call an outage management system, which we'll discuss later. And those are just some of the new stuff that we have coming on board, and some new initiatives that we have, for our customers. Earlier in your what should I call your monologue, your opening monologue, you mentioned about how ways our customers can appreciate us, and that's simply as they pay us. So once you pay, you're showing your appreciation. So that's why we're kind of here to speak about that, plus other things, really, to cover the first 6 months, because we're now in July, the first 6 months of what SKELEC has done and what we have been doing, public relation wise and otherwise, to serve our customers better.
You know, the appreciation, of course, has to be on both sides, you know.
Correct.
Because on one hand, you want your customers to honor their financial obligation to the company. But on the other hand, you have a responsibility and an obligation to provide the best service
That is true.
that you can provide.
That is so true. That is so true. And that's why we are working diligently in providing that service. You know, it's a lot of times we do get, you know, the hits where persons will say, you know, we live on an island, and you see it a lot, you live on an island, how come electricity going bad? But one thing we must understand is that, like in places like the US, whereby they're great interconnects, so you could be living in like New York and be getting electricity out of Ontario, you know, Canada, because that's just how it works. But here we just exist on an island whereby we have our single Needless power station which provide us with electricity, and sometimes they are false, whether it's inside the power station or outside. So that's the reason why. But I must say we have improved a lot, you know, over the years. We have improved a lot when it comes to the service we provide.
So you're having less outages.
Yes, we are.
And more problems.
Yes.
I mean,
Sorry.
less problems with people being disgruntled.
Correct. So it makes my job a little bit easier, but then that's why I have Mr. Stapleton here with me, because he's a maintenance engineer, then he would then be able to explain what we do, what we are doing actually to have those, you know, to minimize the outages that we're having. A lot of it is because it's planning it. A lot of it is planning. We plan ahead. Like right now we're doing tree clearing, which we have started a while back, but just to mention, because you know we're in the hurricane season, we have already started our tree clearing and our hurricane prep work. But Stapleton will be able to explain a lot more of what we are doing out there wise, because you know I could say it here, but he's actually out there, so he'll be able to say, okay, this is what we're doing when it comes to maintenance, you know, what we're doing when it comes to construction, because we have to maintain the network, but when with new, you know, we have like a housing boom, so we have tons of new persons coming on the system, new developments happening, and though they in a way affect our system, so we have to be able to have a balance, you know, and that means keep the work going. Sometimes we have to take off electricity in areas to do the work, you know, but that's why we do send out our notices and notifications. Try to send them out early. We do that most of the time, and when we don't, we do hear from our customers to say, you know, we are customers seeing it a couple of days before. How come you didn't send it out? Which is good, because it keeps us on our toes and make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
I know one of the things that SKELEC is promoting is, if we want to call it, a green world.
Yeah.
And you want to cut down on all this paper.
Correct.
Sending out all these paper bills and so on. And you have what you call the e-biz.
Yes.
Could you explain a bit about that?
Okay. E-biz is electronic business, so electronic billing. So basically what it is our web portal where persons can go in, sign up, log in, and be able to get their bills, so you don't have to receive a paper bill no more. You could choose, you can still have e-biz and receive a paper bill, because the option has to be there, but you can choose not to receive a paper bill anymore, and you actually get your bill quicker. Like 2 days ago, like on Monday when we did billing, as soon as the billing department completes their billing, you get an email. Email is just sent out to, you know, we do billing in segments, so email is sent out to that segment, and you get an email like about a minute after that your bill is ready. When you go in, you log in, open your email, bam, you see your bill. So that's what e-billing is. So that's what e-biz is. And not only that, but you're able to see your usage for the last 3 years at least. You could, you know, and you could do, you could see the trends. So like now it's summer, you realize you might have a peak depending on it, you know, what the usage would. You'll see a peak. If not, you might see it maybe a little bit lower. But it all depends on usage. But you have that. Then you have the other option of reporting faults via e-biz. So you can go in, log in your fault, because you have already logged in. We have your information. So if you say, even if you want to report like a street light or whatever it is, once you log in there, we know, okay, where your where you're contacting us from, because we have your information, so that gets sent directly to us. So it's 3 in 1, and then later we'll discuss the 4th aspect of eBiz, which is our prepaid platform, which is coming soon. So we'll discuss that later. But eBiz, and we must say thank you to those who have signed up. We have seen a steady rate of sign-ups over eBiz over the last couple of weeks, but a couple of months anyway. And we would like that to continue to increase, because we are trying to get more of our customers online. We are trying to get more of our customers using our service, logging in, use the service, because you could get it. You could log in on a computer, tablet, on the phone. We're getting a new phone portal, new phone web portal. We're also getting an app done specifically for that. So it's just to make it more easier for our customers, and especially our customers who are overseas. They just pay their bill, they log in, they pay their bill online. Our customers who rent, same thing, log in. If you're renting, you could get your landlord to create an account for you, because you can create it if it's not in your name. And you create the account for you. They give you the login information. You get your bill online. You make your payments. Done.
Okay, I know that you had also this smart meters project. Is everyone now equipped with a smart meter? And what have been some of the benefits of having this smart meter? How has it been working, Mr. Stapleton?
Good afternoon once more. And before I go on to that, I would just like to give a shout out to my crew, Construction and Maintenance School.
They texted me to make sure he gave them a shout out.
No. These are the guys who make me look good at the end of the day. These are the guys who have to put up with me. And they're actually in the Buckets area constructing some lines. So I just want to give a quick shout out to them. With the Smart Meter project, we are about 80% completed in terms of pros for the Smart Meter project. But AMI is which we call it, Advanced Metering Infrastructure. We do automatic reads. The reads are from the 1st to the 30th. Prior to having the AMI project, we were actually, the meter readers will have to go out and read. And because of that, you will find that your billing period will be staggered. So that's one. That's another reason. So one, to get automatic reads. The reads they cut back and misreads. That's one. Two, you get a steady billing period. For us, we could connect and disconnect. So that's 3 main features in which we target. And also what Gavin also mentioned, some should be coming in August. We're looking to go into prepaid.
Right, so you can stay in your office and read someone's meter.
Yep, and also disconnect and connect, especially for tenants. Those folks who have tenants who have a fast track with people moving in and out, we save and time and efficiency and vehicles instead of sending somebody out to connect or disconnect a consumer. We just do that remotely from the office.
And there has been a reduction in the people coming around to check meters, isn't that so?
Correct.
Because now you're doing it from your from a central place.
Yes.
So there's no need for that.
In addition, it now gives some of the meter readers an opportunity to go into different departments.
Good, because I was going to ask the question. Of course, with automation and with computer and so on, sometimes the disadvantage is that it puts people out of work.
Yeah.
But you're saying that it gives them, you have placed them into other departments.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they haven't been put out of work.
No.
Okay. Good. Now, every year we have the hurricane season. Of course, it runs from the 1st of June to November 30th, to the end of November. And SKELEC plays an important part in terms of, when we have hurricanes. Of course, when we have hurricanes, electricity goes. You try to keep the electricity on as long as possible But at the very same time, you have with the wind and the rain, and you have down trees and,
Yes.
and all kinds of other things. You have lines that are down, lamp posts that are down, and so on. And after the hurricane, of course, you have to try to restore energy, electricity
Yes.
to the country. What is your hurricane plan? Because you have to have a plan pre-hurricane, during the hurricane, and after the hurricane.
It's all plan.
All right, that's why if I make all of that. For the last hurricane, you would have been at Nima Station with myself.
I was.
Yes.
That's all official. That's all official. Oh, you were there? I didn't know you were there.
Our hurricane plan starts with preparation, and in preparing for the hurricane, one of the things we concentrate on is vegetation management. Vegetation management is key. At present, as opposed to before time, we used to do vegetation management in targeted areas, but now we have a crew that's dedicated to vegetation management. So this vegetation management is going on all year round.
What is vegetation management?
And vegetation management is basically clearing trees and other debris from lines, from our power lines. We've had some challenges in the past where some of our customers, they try to do the vegetation management on their own. This is, of course, we appreciate the help, but sometimes it causes trouble, and it's extremely dangerous because these trees now will fall on the power lines and cause outages.
So you have a crew that go out
Yes.
and deals with this vegetation management.
Yes, sir.
So in the event of a storm or a hurricane, that you don't have trees falling on the lines, which of course is going to cause problem.
Exactly. Exactly. So we continue with the preparation for the hurricane preparedness. Of course, we get extra stocking, extra materials. For after the storm is passed, we want to start restoration as soon as possible. But before the restoration commence, we will have crews targeted in different areas to go out and check after the storm. The crew will then report back to the office and give a comprehensive outlook or overview of what's being done after the storm. And from there we start targeting the major areas. Some of the things, not some of the things, the areas we target are police stations, hospitals, airport, and then we go into the bigger villages, our communities.
So you've spoken about pre-hurricane, post-hurricane, but I haven't heard you mention anything about during the hurricane.
Okay, during the hurricane, the control and operations engineer, which is Colin Brown, presently, along with the generation, we'll have a team stationed at generation and also a team at control and operations. Depending on the severity of the storm, we will leave on the electricity. So they will be monitoring the storm. The person stationed at NEMA will be feeding information back and forth. And depending on the category of the storm, then we'll decide if we should shut down or leave on the electricity. The last hurricane, we actually left on the electricity, and as areas went out, we just left them out until after the storm. So it's a case-by-case basis.
Okay, I suppose that one of the things is that you want to safeguard lives.
Of course.
Because when you have electricity, live wires, and so on, it can spark fires.
Sure.
So you can have a fire during a hurricane. You can have people, of course, tripping and getting electrocuted. So you want, of course, to put that message out there as well in terms of safety.
Yeah.
And what I would like to push in terms of safety, which is after the storm, for downlines, we want the consumers to treat them as if they are alive.
Yeah.
So don't go and touch any lines.
Yeah.
So treat the downlines as if they are alive.
Because sometimes you and some people would be like, and I've heard it whereby you have like children, they might say, oh well, they ain't look like electricity wire, but you don't know. Yeah, service wire could be a high voltage, it could be 1 hour secondary line, so you don't know. So treat just every line like it's from SKELEC, and don't attempt to touch, move, whatever the case is, because it could be live, and that's, as Stapleton says, we got to treat them as if they're alive, as if they're alive. During the hurricane, just some of the tips here, unplug your appliances. It goes a long way. You might have surges, you might have lightning hitting, whatever it is. Just the best thing to do, unplug your appliances. You don't know. You might have power, but still unplug your appliances, because it's a storm. You just never know what might happen, what might occur. So those are just some of the things. Like persons who have generator, we advise them to run the generator in a well ventilated area, and make sure you have the generator hooked up properly. Don't just plug it into a socket to feed the rest of the house. Because people do that. Because sometimes a shark, you don't have this, but it's not the wisest thing to do. So just those little tips we would like persons to practice when it comes to handling a storm, because how should I put it, we were lucky. When you look at the forecasting for this year hurricane season, it doesn't seem like it would be as it was last year. So we're just asking persons just to be mindful of that. You have a tree in your yard and you think you might be a little bit of an issue, call us, give us a call, let us take a look at it. I mean, usually the case is the homeowner's responsibility because the tree's in your yard, but sometimes things happen and get out of hand, they reach up to the wires. Don't give us a call, because we have had situations whereby persons have cut down lines and caused like an entire or even half a village to go out, because they cut down line, the tree fall on line, bam, we have to get the guys out to do the work. Sometimes people don't get back power for hours, so prevention is better than cure. So just give us a call, let us know, 465-2000. Let us know what your situation is, but still, as a homeowner, be responsible and try to keep your trees from going up in the lines. Best thing to do, just keep the trees from going up in the lines. Don't plant them directly under our lines either. It might be a nice spot, viewing wise, but it's really not a nice spot when the tree go up into the lines.
Mr. Stapleton, you have a construction and maintenance crew. For a population of, let's say, a little over 50,000, what kind of numbers are we working with in terms of the crew? That is the people that actually go out and do maintenance work and try to restore electricity, try to fix what is broken, and so on.
Okay, my crew, the construction and maintenance crew is 16 fellas.
16?
16.
You think that's enough?
No. Honestly, no. We have a large network, a growing infrastructure. It's challenging, and that's why I have to give a shout out to the guys. Because with as I say, a population of 50,000, a network that would have been existing ever since wherever, and with new businesses, new homes coming online. So it's a challenge sometimes to balance construction and also maintenance.
Okay.
I will go as far as to say that we have 2 maintenance crews. So my crew basically deals with, from the point the electricity generated, from it leaves the power station to the pole. And then there's a metering crew that deals with the service lines and meters. And there is another maintenance crew that deals with the servicing of the service lines and street lamps. But my crew deals with HV and LV, which is high voltage, low voltage lines, transformers, insulators, conductors.
Okay. So your crew, small in number, but they do work hard.
They do. They do.
Yeah, they're the
And
guys who go ahead. When the projects come up, they're the ones who used to go first, put in the lines, put in the posts, that kind of stuff.
Right. Now, whenever there are outages, unplanned outages, because you have planned outages. Of course, if you're going to be doing some work in the area, you might send out a notice to say where the electricity will be off, so at least people can prepare.
Yes.
They can know what to do, because they won't have electricity for a period of time. But there are unplanned outages. Let's say something tripped, a fuse blew, or something like that. Have you any way of knowing in the power station? You have any sort of equipment that can tell you, look, well, we're experiencing a problem here.
system control.
Okay.
We have a few power stations, a few substations that are monitored from system control. So there was feedback and said, it's remote, right? So we have people at system control, which is watching the system. If they lose a few amps, they will know for a fact that the amperage has dropped. Okay. So there's a problem. Same thing at generation. They lose a few megawatts, they're monitoring, they will know that that area has blew. And those are for large areas. For single consumers, we are not to that point as yet. So those consumers, if you notice you have lost electricity, we ask you to call 465-2013, directly 600.
Yeah, and that is now where our outage management system will be coming in, because what we're doing, which is at system control, we are installing an outage management system. Now this system will enable us to know where you're calling from. That's why we are asking persons to update your information with SKELEC. Update at least a cell phone number. Okay, well, they have a cell phone, so at least a cell phone number. You update your cell phone number with us. So when you call in, the system would then you'll say, the system will pick up where you're calling from. Usually your cell phone will be attached to your home, because you're most likely be calling on an issue in your area, so at your home, and then it will say you're calling. We notice that you're calling from number 22 West Coast, whatever. You'll say yes. The system will say, okay, would you like to report a fault? You'll say yes. If someone else has already reported the fault, the system will tell you this fault has already been logged. If you would like us to call you back when it is fixed, it's solved, you could say yes or no. Would you like to go further and report it again? You could say yes. The information is again taken. So that is what our outage, basically that's what outage management system will be doing. And the next thing it will be doing is monitoring in clusters. So if 1 to 3 persons call from the same area, and they realize that, okay, these 3 persons call from the same area and they're on the same transformer, the system is like AI, so it almost like, okay, well, it's a problem possibly with the transformer or with those person transformers, and then they will be able to dispatch a crew out, which was one of his crew out, so that they could take a look at it. So that is where we are heading when it comes to the outage management system, but we're not there yet. But that is basically the road that we are going down, and that is one of our new initiatives at SKELEC.
Okay. Now, we have seen a reduction in outages over the years. What do you think has been responsible for that?
It's a combination of things. Outages could be from a generation side or from a transmission side. As well, crew at generation, they have done a tremendous job over the years of maintaining and overhauling their own generators. On our side, we have improved tremendously in doing maintenance. Regular maintenance causes the outages to decrease. But though we still have some outages, one outage is way too much for us. And as you mentioned in your opening, this electricity thing now is a necessity. As soon as it goes out, the phone start ringing. But we are asking the general public to bear with us. We understand we have come a ways and we are not there yet, and we are working hard and diligently to get to the point where there's no outages, which is, I mean, these is man-made and there will be outages, but we want to get to a point where it's almost no outages.
Okay, how much energy is generated?
And generation?
Yes, in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The last number that we got this week, we have now hit a new peak, which is 28.4 megawatts.
Power.
24.20.4
megawatts.
0.4 megawatts per hour.
That was our peak.
That was the peak.
Yes. So if you average it off, you might be at a little bit 27 high. Because what we realized over the past couple of years, usually if we're at 25 peak in the day, we might be like 22. But now we are hitting like 28 in the day, and we're probably hitting like 27 in the night, sometimes 28 in the night. So it goes to show that more and more persons are using electricity. You know, like on a ridiculous scale. Like we have a lot of persons using. I guess more persons have ACs at home, so they leave the office, leave the workplace with AC, get home, put back on the AC. So even though we would have like Bastia South, which is downtown Port Zante, they might be peaking during the day, and when they drop in nights. But when we have the peak on Bastia North, Sandy Point, Keon feeders, Monkey feeder, the same thing. So they start to peak at night. So it's almost like a balancing effect. The guys at Generation, yes, as Stephen said, they have really been putting out a lot of work. I mean, they overhaul the system themselves, you know, which is incredible. They put in the work. They get a lot of trainings. Like at least once a year, at least 2 guys go away to train. Usually go to Denmark to train on the engines, and then we have other engineers who would go away from there, or the mechanics who would go away from there and do their training. We also had training from the guys at TND. Because it's all about, you got to constantly keep up with what's going on out there and try new methods, because sometimes we're doing something here, we think it's the best way because we've been doing it for so much years, and then we realize you go outside and it could be done differently. So, and I must say that is one thing what the company has been invested in. Stapleton just came back from engineering conference in Curacao, right? Yeah, Curacao. So you see, so it's something that the company has been invested in, whereby they've decided, we're gonna spend some money and get our guys trained, get them up to speed with what's going on, and that's another thing what they've been doing when it comes to the whole outage management system. To decide, I won't lie, it's costly. I saw the contract it is costly, but they decided, let's try to get this done. Let's try to give the customer. We don't want them to have any reason to say we are not providing a proper service. That's like the mandate. No reason to say we are not providing a proper service. So let's try to keep the power on, because that's our job, the main job. Keep the power on, and 2, try to make sure that we have the guys trained in handling certain stuff, handling the correct way. Customer service staff, same way, get them trained. We had actually the customer service SKELEC, which is the carrying body, had their sessions here this year with customer service, and PR sessions here this year. I'm not sure it's going to be next year. Probably know by later in the year. But the conference, and then we had a guy one of the engineers went to, I think, to Barbados for renewable energy. Then we have another renewable energy conference in Miami. So it's a constant training, because the industry keeps developing sometimes, and we're playing catch up. Because I like to say, when I speak to my regional colleagues, that we are an infant company. We're just like 6 years, 11 years. So wow, 8 years. So we're 8-year-old, as a company, but we are still an infant, because they have like 30+ years on us as running as a, if you want to call it, a privatized company. So we have a long way to go, and we do look at them and try to learn as much as possible from them. because they're like the industry standard.
I remember in the not too distant past, probably around 2008, 2009, around there, 2007, there was a debate in this country about the type of generators that were there. I think there were Marley's generators. I'm aware because at that time, you know, I used to do a lot of writing about it, working for the Observer newspaper.
Okay.
And basically there was a talk about these generators, or there were lemons and oranges and all kinds of things, because they were giving a lot of problems. And there were a lot of outages in the country. I don't know if you remember that period. At one point there was a fire up at the power plant.
G5.
Yes, and you know, I was doing my reporter work, and I know that the minister at that time promised investigation into the fire and so on. Up to now, I haven't seen a report about it. But what type of generators do we have now? We have better generators. What kind are they? And so on.
I don't even think I can answer that question. Because I think we still do have the Merleys. We have MAN engines, so they're basically the safe generators, I would call them.
No, we have MAN, M-A-N. Then they have a few Hyundais, and we have a couple of mobile Caterpillar units. The generation manager, I think the wish will be to get some Wärtsilä engines. Those are the leading company in the engine industry. As a matter of fact, when I was in Curacao just last week, I saw they have just constructed and brought online a 40 megawatt plant of Caterpillar engines, dual fuel. And I think that would be our wish. But of course, you know, the government is pushing for clean and green energy. Even though the government is pushing for a cleaner type of energy, I think we still need these type of engines to give us a base load. Because if the sun is not shining and the wind is not blowing, there's a problem with geothermal. We still need that base load.
You know, there's a big debate going on in the world about renewable energy and the traditional forms of energy, the fossil fuel.
Yes.
Some people are saying that the big cost with the renewable energy is getting it up and running.
The capital cost.
Yeah.
The capital cost. Getting it up and running. Big countries like the US are saying probably we need more coal mines. I don't know, you know, and so on. And of course, you know, that generates a lot of not so clean energy.
Yes.
On the other hand, the talk of renewable energy and geothermal and all of this kind of a thing has been around for a long time.
Of course.
And in the Caribbean, we are talking about it. But at the very same time, it appears to me that there's a lot more talk than actually what is being implemented. And I suppose it's a process and so on. I know here in St. Kitts we've spoken about geothermal energy, that we have a volcano here in St. Kitts and a volcano here in Nevis, and we talk about solar energy. I think we have some solar farms, one up by the Central Bank, you have one up by the airport. Wind farm, I think there's a wind farm in Nevis.
Correct.
You know, and so on. And the whole idea, it is very ideal, you know, that we have all this clean energy and so on and so on. And it is very good theory. And I suppose this theory put into practice is a very good one as well. But it seems to me that we are moving at an extremely slow pace.
I think when renewable energy would be ideal. Because the sun is free, but the capital cost is expensive. If you're gonna go solar, what it would take, this size that it would take to put on a proper plant, you could get Wärtsilä come and put on a plant in a smaller space, And I've seen some of the Wärtsilä plants, and they've really, I must admit, these guys do some really good work, But going back to renewable, is that it's a almost like a catch-22, because you have to. We've been mandated to go there, so there's no doubt. That's the road the government is taking. That's the road the minister is going down. So we can't go against that. But we do understand that we do need a balance whereby we would most likely have to get, because the thing is, our demand is going, no doubt. The Senkis is growing and our demand is growing, right? So we have come to the point whereby we realize that we have to head down that road of possibly getting a few units just to balance off until we get the solar farm, because as far as I understand, that should come on road soon. I guess the ministry might be speaking about it shortly. I'm hoping they would mention something about it, and then we would then know what road will be taken from there. But as it is now, as a department, me and Simpleton, we talk about it a lot, and we kind of know that we most likely would probably have to get 1 or 2 units to come in to handle our load, because our load is increasing. We look at it from early this year to now. The guys were looking at the numbers and they couldn't, we really couldn't believe it. And a lot of it is, we will say, there's not a lot of big developments that is just coming on stream. They are coming on, but they haven't completed. They're in the 10th stage. But then it's because a lot of the houses development that they're putting, that the government is putting down, and private people building their homes and stuff like that. So those, as yesterday, one of the engineers was saying in the meeting, because we had a meeting yesterday, and one engineer, he was saying, 1 full basket. We were just talking, and he kept saying, 1 full basket, because all those little homes that's popping up all over the place, we realize that they are counting a lot to our increased load. So we are aware what we have to do or what road we're gonna take. We're just not sure when we will see like a large scale. It would be nice though to have a really large scale, either wind, though we would rather geothermal, because geothermal is base load, but wind or solar farm just down, and just like Cayman's opened one recently, St. Vincent did theirs, and in a few of the Grenadines Island they actually opened another 1 megawatt, just a small Grenadine island. One of them, I think is Petit Martinique or something like that. They have one. So, that is the road that is taken, but I think it's the overall capital cost to build these things, and knowing that they run during the day. During the night, well, it's solar anyway, during the night, unless you have battery backup, you don't really have that luxury of getting free electricity. Then you have to turn back to your engines to power the country.
What about people building, for example, with solar panels? We're doing a lot of building, but have you ever thought of, like putting in some solar panels, the government, even in these homes that they're building? You put solar panels in, and in that way, that's a part of your whole, building.
But
building policy.
Let me touch on your previous question first, with the whole debate surrounding renewable energy. It's a great debate. First of all, the capital cost for a startup for renewable plants is huge. Going into such venture, you have to take your time and go into it, because the technology is changing so fast. At the conference, one of the presenters was saying, he was explaining to the audience that you don't want to get into a long-term contract that you think will probably last you 30 years, because in no time the technology will change, and you will need to go to that technology. So you have to be very careful and tread lightly before you just jump into a contract. if you're going into solar, you're going to need land for the solar. It's other dynamics, where the sun is shining from, where how long the sun is going to stay overhead to hit these panels to produce power. But we here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have most of the resources. We have testing for geothermal, we have solar, we have wind. The only thing we don't really have is rivers for water, like that, to generate hydropower.
Yeah, I know in the Dominican Republic, there are quite a number of hydroelectricity plants.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dominican Republic is huge.
Yes.
But I mean, they have that form of renewable energy.
Now, jumping to your second question now, there have been some consumers who have taken it upon themselves, who have invested in solar projects. We also saw some of the businesses, TDC, Hasfords, and a couple small consumers, and they have significantly, their bill have decreased, sadly to us, of course. But we have not gotten to that stage yet where we are buying electricity from these small consumers. So you will have solar panels on your roof, and if you overuse, or even if you feed back into the grid, we will not pay you for that. Our meters are set as we just read the meters. We don't buy back any type of electricity from the consumers.
Right. So it is said that, of course, the thing with renewable energy is a capital cost in terms of the startup. Now, in terms of the maintenance, in terms of the overtime, will one really see a significant reduction in their bill? Mind you, it's not just about the money. It's about one's health, it's about clean air, it's about all of that as well. But I'm talking about the bill. Will the bill significantly drop?
Definitely. Well, I was in Statia like a month and a half ago, and Statia during the daytime is running directly on renewable energy from their solar farm. So the reduction costs in fuel, they are saving, I think the engineer told me, around, they're down 46%. 46% in fuel is major. Our biggest bill we have to pay is fuel.
bill.
Right, you have a big fossil fuel bill.
That bill is almost 90% of what we spend.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that high.
So you could imagine. So yeah, the reduction is significant.
The reduction in the bill. Now, talking about bill, let's get to bill. What's going on in the bill department? I know that you have ramped up your public relations and so on, and trying to see how you can work with people, negotiate with people, help them to appreciate the energy that they have been provided with and so on, and help them to see that, they have a financial responsibility, of course, to pay for their electricity.
All right.
People have to pay for anything, your water, electricity, whatever. You don't allow it to run sky high and so on. So what is being done in terms of that?
In terms of the bill, well, the bill, this is going to be one of the most interesting, section, because that's one thing. When it comes to talk about money, persons, they get a little high. But the bill, we have done nothing. So let me start off with that first. We haven't done. There's no increase to the electricity surcharge, because that SKELEC can't do that. That have to go through cabinet. They got government. They got to sign into, because it's so there's nothing like that. But we are just asking our customers, now that we have gone over and we have said all what we have been doing and what we'll be doing and what we're doing in the future and stuff like that. We're asking our customers, to make sure that they pay the bill, because as Stephen mentioned, we have, it's about 90% we pay. Fuel costs, we have a bunch of other costs, and we still have to buy equipment and stuff like that, and pay salaries. But fuel costs is about 90% of our overhead. right? So if we get our customers to pay us, then we get to pay the fuel bill, and that's just how it is. As it was, hand go hand come.
Right.
hand go hand come. That's just how it is. So we're just asking our customers, make sure that you do pay your fuel bill. So that that's it. You get a bill, you open it. We have customers who I know, I can tell you, I know they don't open the bills. I just know, man. When you interact with them, when they come down, say to complain about something, they don't open the bill. And then something when they will tell you, they'll be like, well, I know my bill high, so I ain't gonna open it. But still do come in and still do, pay your bill. So if you don't want to open it, then sign up for eBiz. They might not open the email either. They might send it to junk mail, whatever. But sign up for eBiz and then you get your bill that way. But it's still that we are asking persons to make the payment. We have options. You either pay in store, pay via cash, check, credit card. That's in store. Drop the check outside in the box. One option. Next option, pay via your bank. The bank portal, National Bank, Scotia, and I think it's National Scotia and Wire Bank, right? So the First Caribbean, National Scotia, First Caribbean. Those are your options to pay via the bank portal. When you pay via the bank, though, it takes about a day because the bank have to send the information out to SKELEC. We do the processing in the afternoon, and then bam, it goes on the next day. So that's the best way to pay, whereby it affects and hit your account the same time. If you need to, is via eBiz. Because when you pay via eBiz, you pay with your card. As soon as you pay, you hit paid, you see the update on your account, real time. If you had a $300 bill, you pay $200, you see the $100 balance. If you pay a $300 bill, you pay $350, you see the credit balance. So you have a credit of $50 balance. So whatever it is. We also have what we call our deferred payment arrangement. That I like to explain to it as like hire purchase. Basically, that's what it is. You owe us, you get the electricity, you owe us $1,500. We say, okay, we'll break it down maybe over 12 months. So I don't know how much that is. Maybe that's $125 a month. And then, I think that's $125 a month. And then you would say, okay, $125 a month plus my current bill, because that's we realize that persons have been paying their DPA, as we call it for short. So they pay the arrangement, but they don't pay the current bill. But on your bill, it has current bill balance, and then it has your DPA balance. Then it has the total amount you're supposed to pay. That's the amount you're supposed to look at, and that's the amount you're supposed to pay. Persons look at the first amount, and they say, well, that's my arrangement, that's how much I'm supposed to pay. Because when they sign the contract, it says you're going to be paying us $125 a month over the next 12 months to pay off your $1,500 balance, right? But you still have to stay current. So what we did in the last 2 weeks, I think, we sent out some letters to persons who were like 90-day delinquent, and persons who had stopped paying or weren't paying their full amount, because some persons was just paying the DPA amount and wasn't paying the current amount, the total balance. So we are asking persons just to make the payment to SKELEC, come in, make a payment to whatever, but just make your payment to SKELEC, and then we would be glad. Well, we are provide you with the service, so we're asking you to pay for the service that we are giving you. And then what we can go over now into is prepaid. Now prepaid is coming up.
Before you go over to prepaid, I would like to look directly into the camera and ask those who are owing to SKELEC, so please to come into the office and pay up your bills. Or you could, as Gavin just mentioned, create a DPA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because, okay, no, I think I want to expound a little bit on the DPA, because we sent out the letters, persons came in, some persons received the letters late, because the letter was a final notice disconnections, right? So some persons came in late and they were like, whatever, and they was a little bit scared. And some people are just generally scared because, man, some of the bills are, they're ridiculously high. So, so we ask the person, don't be scared. Come in still, because if you don't pay, we're going to disconnect you. So come in still, right? Speak with us. Tell us what your situation is. You don't have to go into a little detail. We don't need to know your full business, but just tell us what your situation is. We would work it out in a way whereby we will make it affordable for you to make the payment. Because you really can't pay what you don't have. So we have to make it affordable for you to make the payment. So we'll do it over 12 months, 24 months, whatever. So just a way that when you're paying your current bill, so you're still, because you're paying your current bill, you still have electricity, and then you're still able to make that, to bring down your balance. Prepared.
You mentioned something, and I wanted to stop you there, Gary. You said that people can't pay what they don't have.
Correct.
Then why use what you can't pay? That is my thing. And there again, not because there's a philosophy really in terms of electricity and water, that of wastage.
Correct.
And people don't really pay attention in terms of their use of these things. And there are some people with the philosophy that, look, we're really supposed to pay for these things, you know, these things are supposed to be free.
Correct.
You might be surprised to know that there are people who think that way.
We meet them. No, we don't meet them, those who do not pay at all. Like these are persons who have gotten homes, and I'm guessing they probably not be paying for those either, but they just literally do.
No, but there are some people who feel the government should be paying it.
Yes, they don't pay us, because we have had some persons come in and they just haven't paid us. You know, they've got the electricity service. Let me see. I'm trying to think of the last time the government gave our homes. Whenever. So December, because I think they gave us some December, but not even this December.
And when you disconnect them, they run to the politician.
Oh, yes.
And they say, oh, I was disconnected. What does that got to do with it? You need to pay your bill.
Well,
that is so true.
You're treading on some waters we really did not want to. We really did not want to tread on. So I'm just asking the consumers, if you know you owe a bill, please to come to the office and kindly make a payment.
So what we...
Because when Lime and Cable send you a bill, you have to pay them.
I had a conversation, I could never remember. I just started working SKELEC, man, and we had some disconnection, and a lady was going on bad on the outside, and she was like, well, yeah, I want to pay me. Oh, I want to pay. Yeah, I want to pay, and I got to pay hard for my chair. And it's the first start, and I was like, but you're paying hard for your chair. You know? So the priorities. So we just, just rearrange your priorities a little bit, because remember, without cable, your internet service, topping up, powering up your phone, plugging in your phone, charging your phone, charge your tablet, whatever the case is, baking, cooking, frying, turn on the fan, turn on the AC, whatever it is, all I talk is electricity. Core one.
Yeah, but on the other hand though, the wastage, because people can reduce their energy bill.
True.
Sometimes you have all the lights on in the house.
Correct. There's a lot
you
of
go
ways
in the bathroom and you come out the bathroom and you turn off the light in the bathroom.
Make it was some people just leave the light, not in the light and the water running, because and I think what happened is because a lot of it, because it's technically government owned, so you'll be like, well, I pay my taxes.
So I suppose I want you, as workers at SKELEC, to give people some energy reduction advice, some tips of how they can keep their bill lower. We'll get to that, but we have to go to the phone lines.
Okay.
We're now going to open the lines. The numbers to call are 465-2555, which is the local number, and the overseas number is 1-718-577-2916. We await your calls.
Okay, nobody calling. Let me just go quick before someone. Touch on what you said last. Yes, we want them to, as I said, give them some energy to come in and some tip energy. Quick. Simplest tip is turn off your lights. We'll be surprised how much energy you make when you turn off your lights. How much energy you save,
Working for you, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lesroy.
Good afternoon, sir.
And you two electric man dear.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have two questions. Now, in my lifetime on earth, I have knowledge of 3 persons get electrocuted. One in Sandy Point while he was up on a ladder. He get electrocuted up there and he dropped off the ladder and dead. And another one was up Victoria Road in the early 70s. And then lately in the 2000s, another man get his hand in burn off. Now my question is this. Who is responsible to shut off the power when the servicemen are in a certain area servicing the lines? Who is responsible for shutting off that, and why do the men have to go up there when the wires are live? Thank you. I'll listen over here for the rest. Thank you.
Who is responsible for?
Who is responsible for shutting off that, and why do the men
Who is responsible for doing the switching? System control normally does the switching, but if system control is not doing the switching, a supervisor or crew member is responsible for doing the switching. Before any work is commenced, there is a tailgate meeting. And a tailgate meeting is basically what will happen on the job. So the supervisor or the foreman will give all the commands, and they will call back to system control and make sure the feeder is dead or the circuit is dead. With that said, we have improved and we have put major safety initiatives in place. We are earthing the lines. Each line is HV, and you must be trained to work on if it's low voltage and low voltage. Also, we have implemented gears to help us, whether it's gloves or, and now we are also introducing fire retardant gears. So those are some of the initiatives we have put forth.
So, so to add to what Stephen said, we had the training, the Linesman Rodeo, which we hosted with SKELEC hosted Pat along with Nevlec earlier this year, and that was one of the stuff whereby it was very interesting to see like the guys like in their full suit, fire retardant suit and everything like that, because it's really come down to safety. 3 weeks ago, another linesman lost his life in Guyana. They sent the information to us. This information is kind of shared because I know these guys are close, so they shared the information with us whereby he got electrocuted. We're not sure why, but he did have on the safety gears. But it's just like there's something that we learn, that we practice a lot, and we say a lot in SKELEC whereby we say trust but verify. So it's like when the guys go out, like what Satan is saying, system control could turn off the electricity in the area remotely, but you still see the guys might go and they pull the fuse themselves. Mm-hmm. When they pull the fuse themselves, they walk with the fuse. So no one could literally go and put back in the fuse because 3 fuses supposed to be there, they pull one. Raise it, So they practice those things, and they always try to make sure we have safety officers who make sure that everybody is following the rule of law of making sure that they're wearing the proper safety gear, because it will cost us. I mean, but the safety gear is expensive, but a life more expensive than the safety gear, So, and to make sure that these guys are actually wearing the right safety gear, doing the proper things, I was in the linesman session, and I saw the guys showing them a new technique of how to rope, and just a new thing, like if you fall, just a new way of tying the knot. Like if you fall, it enable that the knot pull faster, and they have followers belts and all this kind of stuff. So it's a lot of new gear that we have that the guys using when they're climbing, to make sure that they are practicing and following the correct safety tips.
Okay, now Gary, you were before the caller talking about energy saving tips.
Yes. Tip number 1, turn off your lights. Simple, easy. That's easy tip to remember. Tip number 2, whatever, cell phone. If you're leaving home, unplug your cell phone. Don't leave it plugged in the wall, because anything plugged into a wall socket is literally burning electricity.
Even though if the cell phone is not there and you leave the charger in the wall, you're burning electricity.
So little stuff like that. Those cable, when you use a cable box or Android box or Mac box, whatever it is, you have plugged up to your TV, Fire Stick, whatever, Fire TV box, whatever. Once it's plugged in as well, it's burning electricity. Just touch it. If it's warm, it's burning electricity. So little tips like that you can use just to save little bit of money. One add up. Save a little bit here, a little bit there. I've practiced some of that and realized that they actually do work just by plugging in the box.
You could invest in energy saving devices rather than just going to the supermarket or to the store and just picking up any old device. You mentioned
Any appliances like fridges and
also invest in light emitting diode bulbs, LED bulbs, that's what we call them.
yes,
Rather than high pressure sodium bulbs, invest in those.
right, low energy bulbs.
Yeah. You see, the LED bulbs, it might be a little bit more pricey, but the savings is ridiculous. The really is, because, and even one the brighter, for the brighter. But the savings is really ridiculous. What we've seen, I mean, it's this you save a lot. Like I got family members who use them, I got some, and they just you save a lot of energy. I mean, they don't burn as much. They don't give off a lot of heat either, but and you're saving a lot. So even though you might spend a lot up front and a lot of energy saving equipment do cost a good penny up front, but in the long run they last and you'll benefit. So that is a good way for persons to save their money and just practice those energy saving tips. Just those little things of unplugging devices and stuff like that, it go a long way. You see it in your bill. Try it one time, try it for a month. Actually, try small, start small, try it for a week.
Right.
Look at well, unless you have an e-billing where you could track it by day, but look at it over a week period, and you'll see if you manually go outside and look at your meter every afternoon. Like we tell people do that sometimes. 6 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, just a way to track your meter usage, and then you could manually see how much energy you're spending and how much you're saving. So that's a good way of actually saving energy, just looking at your meter, because then you'll be like, wait, I use 20, let me see what I can do. Use 17, okay, let me see what I can do, bring it down again. Use 15, so you realize, wait, I can cut a lot of these, we call it bad habits out and save money at the same time. But I want to touch prepaid.
Yes, yes.
Why I want to touch prepaid is because when we were speaking about the DPA, prepaid would be a good way for persons to save money as well, because by having prepaid, it means that you're able to top up, which we call power up your meter, right? And it's not like your phone, whereby you have the phone and I guess you get cut off and you'll get cut off in a conversation. It doesn't work like that. It literally would give you warnings like 3 days in advance. That's your minimum one time, 3 days in advance.
So what happens after
your third day and you don't top up, you'll get disconnected, because you get 3 days, so it's like 3 days and 1. So in third day, then you get disconnected. But the thing about it, you'll be getting, you have more than 24 hours less. You have 24 hours less. You have less than 24 hours less. Okay, you'll be disconnected today. By default,
in order to reconnect, you go on your top up.
You go on your top up, and it happens like right away.
Right away.
Yeah, look like right away. It just happens. Like I'm testing it, and I've allowed my system to get disconnected just to top it up, just to see, and it happens like right away, like within about 30 seconds or less. Before I get the email confirmation to say that it's on, the power is back on. So and it's a good way too, because I actually get to monitor how much I use. So like I could say, okay, I use I think he told me yesterday I used $15, and I'll be like, okay, that's a lot of money. So let me try to cut it down. So I'll see what I can do between today and tomorrow to cut it down. So in real time, you get your real time usage every day. You get your real time usage. You get to top up your account. You see how much you use. You see your bill balance. It's really good for persons who are renting. It's really good for persons who are renting and persons who whether they're tenants, they're renting, persons who just first time homeowners because you don't pay a deposit. And if you have a deposit. If you're postpaid and you have a deposit, you could transfer to prepaid, get that money, go over in your credit to prepaid. So all those little things is what we are doing to get persons on.
Working for you, good afternoon.
Working for all of us, that's why.
Yes, sir.
Why? Long time I want to catch SKELEC. I have some questions here for them.
Okay.
Yes, the good workers at SKELEC. We at the Court of Conscience want to know why you all have the Independence Square there. People are supposed to go to the minister to get higher to do higher work. Some group youth and men should be moving around in these new vehicles that the Honorable Prime Minister provides to our youth. To make sure you go around town and see where light is out, the bulb is blocked, and make sure that you replace new bulbs. The place there, you all gotta come better than that, man. You all gotta come better than that. When I look at the square during the music festival, I swear that nobody nothing in there. Look at the square, almost 8 to 10 lampposts and no lighting. I can't treat people like that. I say we get away from government in it, because you can't shite in town, it can't make no sense. When you go up at Greenland, you walk over to come over from Manchester to go over to Greenland. The shortcut, so to speak, for people. Dark! And come on, man. I ain't gonna come better than that. That's why it's walking quality. And when you want to run a country, you must know how to spend the people's money. Have a good day, that's why.
All right, I'm down.
That's why I can't believe that's my good cousin down there.
Yeah, that your family. That your family.
You can't put me on the spot like that. That must have been an oversight. As I told you, I was away over the past week. But driving like the major street, Cairn Street, and coming up to Greenlands, we even went as far as to put the pretty lights on. So that must have been an oversight. I've made a note of it, and we'll seek to address that. In term, he mentioned street lights being out. We are about to launch into an initiative sponsored by CDB to retrofit all of the old high pressure sodium lamps to LED lamps. So
Reduce cost
reduce cost, and also
to the government.
yeah, and also brighter lights, and also for security as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that project we're hoping to start very soon, and we do. I'm not gonna lie. That's one area we do get some lights and street lights, and a lot of it is because I have experienced this myself, whereby someone would be like, oh well, I'm not going to report it because somebody already cited and reported it. But we are asking folks, don't take that road. Just if there's a street light out, just tell us, because a lot of we might not know, and then allow us to first, because with a street light we have to generate a service order. With any work, a service order is generated, and then that's go. There are some persons who are querying about street lights, whereby there weren't any. Now that now has to go through the ministry, because the ministry literally pays SKELEC for that work, because the ministry pays SKELEC every month for the street lights. So that would have to go to the ministry. Anything new with any new street light, they'll just send the ministry for a request. Once the ministry approve it, they send it down to us. The guys them go out, they do the work. But in terms of street lights, if you don't want to call it in at 2013, you could email or just send a message. Social media, a lot of people send it via social media. Most of the posts have a number. Send us a post number and a little detail, whether it's on or off, or don't come on at all, or stay on all during the day, because those lights need to be fixed as well. We ask them, just let us know, and then let us adjust them. Then when we don't adjust them, then you come at us. But let us know, so at least we could make sure that the lights are working, and the government is getting paid for what they're paying us for.
On top of that, though, my concern is street lighting. But if certain areas or the streets are not properly lit, it provides a haven for criminals. So we're talking here about safety and security. You see, our streets must be properly lit, and certain areas must be properly lit to deter criminals.
We agree.
That is, to me, one of the things.
It's a joint effort between SKELEC and also the government. Newly constructed projects lighting is included with the construction of the project. If it is an old project and a consumer need a light, they must apply through the government for that light. SKELEC does not have the right to just go and put up a light because the government pays us the bill for street lighting. So it's a joint initiative between SKELEC and also the government.
Okay. Good. Now, we were talking before about disconnections. SKELEC has stopped its disconnections.
Clamping.
So, instead of disconnecting people, you are more interested in keeping people connected and reconnecting people.
Of course.
Now, and I can see the reasons behind that. So therefore, your strategy is one of really working with people
Yeah,
to get them to be compliant.
correct.
Working for you, good afternoon.
Yes, me again, that's why.
Yes.
I forget this one. That's why I want you to tell these young boys about the Factory Social Center. You have some project houses up there, and the minute you reach up where you used to go dance long time with Ellie Mac, up there back, you done had about 3 young girls come to the circus telling us that fellas try to rape them. You know, and that's why I feel like that area there in SKELEC, you couldn't go to the ministry. The ministry could be the orders, but allow people to get on to SKELEC, get a group of fellows in the pickup mark that they deal with lighting on the road so people know them. Because a lot of people on the internet to scenario, no text and them kind of things. Please, this security on the road at night is important. We have all kind of sorts in this country, and we're not gonna allow this thing going on and people even talking. I want you all to put the Factory Social Center by them project houses, all around them project houses in the area, and note it and let me try to deal with it because it's a console. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Once again,
Working for you, good afternoon.
Yeah, I come back again. I heard one of the men say that they overlooked the square. Well, this square has been like that for months with those dim bulbs, and sometimes there is no bulb. And then we all know the square has trees in there. So where there is no light and you have trees, that is what you call an appetite, an appetizer for crime. So therefore, don't let the ministry tell SKELEC go and put in bright bulbs in the square, please. If you have maintenance crew, they should see that and go and put in the bulbs and then give the ministry the bill. That is my take on that. Have a good day.
Working for you, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Calling from Christian. For the longest while now, there are 2 street lights in the area that do not come on at all. I think the last time they was on, maybe since there was December, and up to now, we've been calling SKELEC to check them and everything, and nobody seems to come up to now.
Did you say Christchurch, ma'am?
Yes.
Where exactly in Christchurch?
One down on the road, and another one is up on the project.
Down. Can we have like a landmark?
If you have a...
Like close to the church? Close to the Anglican church?
No, not over there. Just when you come in Christchurch.
From Borio?
From, yeah.
Okay. The first road up?
Yes.
Okay. So the cream house on the corner?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I think I drive this side of the... Well, good thing I'm from this side of the country. First house, cream house.
Okay, we have noted Jam Down's point, and we'll definitely look into that.
We're glad a person's actually... Sorry. We're glad a person actually called about the street light. I mean, that we can definitely look into, because that those are fixes that we got the lamps. We got the lamps. We just have to get them out. The thing though is that one thing we have to realize, I think the last count they gave us was 10,500 street lights and sink it, something like that. So it was a ridiculous amount, and we okay. So now we know. What we ask the person, do call in, do tell us, so at least we're able to address it. And when we really don't do it, I'm really asking you guys to hold us accountable for it, because we should really be doing our job. So when we don't do it, hold us accountable and make sure that we are addressing your concerns when it comes to street lights.
Well, not only that, these calls come on a first come, first served basis.
Mm-hmm.
So not necessarily that if you call today, you're going to get it fixed tomorrow.
Correct.
That's the first come, first served
if you have 50
basis.
cars coming, service order for 50 cars before, and yours are 51. That's kind of like how it's done, And when you do call, do ask about service order numbers too.
Working for good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. I live on the New Road Housing Project, and just after the airport gate, every time heavy rain or a little high wind, we lose electricity up here. What's the cause of that?
I would like them to come and check it out. And above that, there is a lamppost that is showing for over 6 months. But the one adjacent to my gate, it parks every time.
Hello. Could you start all over again? What you
I
was?
said I'm living down the road next to the field by the school. There is a new transformer they placed.
Where? Which area?
Which school?
Which school? Which area? Which school?
When you come down the where Timothy Harris is, you turn right down that first road by the school.
Oh, you're in Tabernacle.
The school is on the main road.
Okay.
So when you turn down there on your left, there's a new post at the place there, and it parks every time there is a rain. So if they could please come and check it, I'll be glad. And above that, there's a lamppost that is showing any electricity over 6 months now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the spark one is what I'm mostly interested in, whenever it rains.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for taking my call.
Working for you, good afternoon.
Hi, good day.
Good day.
I'm actually calling from New Road Housing Project, just above the airport gate there.
Yes.
There seems to be a problem on the project as a whole. Every time there is a heavy rain, or if the wind blows too hard, we lose electricity up here. Maybe it's something they need to check out as well.
Okay, we seem to have been getting quite a number of calls, people complaining, some fault, reporting a fault. Construction and maintenance engineer.
We are aware that we are faced with problems. As I mentioned in the opening, we struggle to do maintenance in certain areas, and we are looking to ramp up. We have a few challenges. We have a few vehicles down. Manpower is a problem, and we still have to balance that in getting new folks onto the grid. So we are working tirelessly, and we are working behind the scenes, and we're just asking the general public for some patience as we seek to correct these issues.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know,
maybe I'll ask you for a public relations side now. It's yes, and we, to be honest, I'm glad that persons did call in and point out, because we don't want to make it seem like we're a company who don't have faults, because we do have faults. But what we are glad about is that we had persons who call in, they pinpoint it's knocking on wood. It wasn't about outages, which is good, because it shows that at least we are dealing with things here that is fixable within our realm of fixing in a small short space of time. Street lights, those things we can address. Septon did mention that we are heading down the road of joining with the CDB with the street lighting project. They have it started in Barbados, Antigua as well, I think, and St. Lucia. Those four, we are next. Whereby retrofitting the entire St. Nevis, all the street lights with LED street lighting, which is good. Brighter, burn less energy. And the good thing about it too is that we'll have one standard street light. So when it's time for us to change out, you don't have to wonder about this and that. We just will change out the same street light. So that's how.
Working Phil, good afternoon. This will be our last call for this afternoon.
You're one of my favorite people, yeah?
Okay.
And good afternoon to you, good afternoon to the SKELEC guys.
Good afternoon.
These guys are hard-working people. However, I would admit that what most of the callers have said, it is true. Nobody is calling to critique SKELEC to make them look bad. These are constructive criticism. Because I live in New Road, I've been experiencing the same problem as the lady caller. As soon as a little high wind, a little rainfall, it's gone, current gone. That is telling me, as you recognize, Lesroy, there is a maintenance problem. There are loose and slack connections on the line, and that is what is causing it. So maintenance must be a priority for SKELEC. I have other problems with SKELEC as well, but I don't think this is the place for it. So Terry Adams did not call in to embarrass anyone of you, eh?
Okay.
However, there's a second matter. You talk about your bulbs, energy-saving bulbs. But your energy-saving bulbs has a problem too, you know. I don't know if you're aware that your energy-saving bulbs also cause interference to electronics. They do, they does. And so, saying that they save energy, they have the little minor effects as well to them. But nevertheless, I am not going to dwell on that. And I didn't call in to make SKELEC look bad. I have another problem, but that problem has reached another level. So I will not bring this to the public. So guys, like I said, you all work hard. Even when these problems occur, you're going to be up and running. And so that is a commendation to you and a compliment. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Sir.
So because Terry,
That's your why. That's your
We're basically out of time.
Yeah.
We have about 3 minutes to wrap up this program, so let us try to.
No problem.
first of all, let me just thank Terry for not slaughtering us. Terry, no, when I was at customer service, Terry happens to be one of our best paying consumers.
Yeah, he does.
Those times in the meter reader days, as soon as the meter reader went and read Terry's meter, Terry will bring that reading to the office.
Yeah.
And he will pay up and beyond. Terry, we acknowledge we have some maintenance issues, and we will also see to correct that. I've mentioned that before. With the energy saving bulbs, the LEDs, we are also aware that there are some harmonics that these bulbs may cause, and we are also looking into filters to prevent any disturbance whatsoever. We want to thank you for having us on the show. I want to thank the general public for listening, all the callers who called in. And again, I would just like to say a special good afternoon to everybody over at SKELEC working, especially my crew, the construction and maintenance crew. The two supervisors, Albert Daniel and Lashley Weeks, and the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for me, I just want to say thanks again for having us. A little short trip, but hopefully we could do it again before we actually fully launch prepaid electricity. We just want persons to really be aware of what their plans are for the upcoming hurricane season. Really do have a survival kit, and you go over it. We do follow up. We have been to the schools, and we do speak to the children about safety tips, and also energy saving tips, which is something that's important. But we do want to invite persons just to come and ask us about prepaid. Come sign up. Sign up for prepaid service, experiences what it's like. You could, if you don't like it, you could always switch back. And just a reminder for persons to make payment to their bills, and that's about it.
Well, I want to thank both of you, Nelson and Gawain, for coming on today's program. PRO and construction and maintenance engineer, Nelson. I guess like any company, there are challenges, but I think that SKELEC has come a very long way in terms of the improvement of the electricity that is supplied, and that is my opinion. I've seen less outages, I've seen better service, and I think that you are to be commended for that. So thank you for coming on today's program and to sharing on important issues in terms of people and how they can better manage their energy and how they can better pay SKELEC for their usage and so on. Quite important indeed. You have been listening to another edition of Working for You. Thank you very much to all of our callers who called in, asked questions, shared their concerns or made suggestions. We thank you very much. We thank you from week to week for tuning in to this program and keeping our company. Next week we will be back for another edition of Working for You. Until then, I am Lesroy Williams.
Working for You. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Lesroy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for You is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for You.